Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe as I dive in. Bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe as we fall. I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding out for the other side. Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. Where do I go? Tell me where do I go? Where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Rise. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Get it on,
Welcome everybody to the last day of this week of VCS action here on VCS English. My name is Everyday. With me as always is Marbinogi and Yulway, my good friends. How are we tonight?
Feeling robbed. They took an hour from me. I'm not sure how it happened, but now my Sunday is shorter. It's a tragedy.
You kind of deserve it. Marby, how are you?
You guys got a Sunday? Yeah,
Could have had a Sunday.
I could have had a Sunday, but body said no.
But anyway, let's get into it. We've got a couple good series for you tonight, and we've had some good series just in general this week. Many playoff implications still rumbling. Yue, do you want to start us off by setting up some of the implications of things that have already happened this week before we move into today?
Well, we had some big games, not quite deciding all the outcomes yet, but we confirmed GAM and Cerberus for playoffs, and both teams moving up as well. So GAM will play today. If they win today, they are in a very good position to get that first place unlocked, but it's not entirely sure because Cerberus is hot on the heels. So maybe we can move over to the standings. Give me a second. There we go. What the?
Uh-oh. I don't like hearing that. Are we on the standings?
There we go.
What's going on?
There we go. My
There we go.
apologies. There was there was a video hiding behind the standings, sneakily. But yeah, here we go with the standings. GAM with a plus 15 game score, with Cerberus plus 11, actually very close. And Saigon Buffalo today with a 2-0, they could basically confirm playoffs for themselves as well. The big thing this week that happened is that 3 teams were locked out of playoffs, which are Flash, Burst the Sky, and G Media Luxury. Those teams can't reach the playoffs anymore. The maximum they can finish at is 5 serious wins, which isn't enough to get close to Secret or SPTC. So it's truly a 5-team playoff race, or rather right now a 3-team playoff race, because 2 teams are already confirmed. And that's our current standings, with the very important match coming up right now, Saigon Buffalo against SPTC. You can see very close in the standings too. This can go a long way to help SPTC reach playoffs or Saigon Buffalo secure the playoff spot.
Yeah, it could. And the other way is that if SBTC picks up this win, it's massive for them. Because currently, despite the fact that SBTC are very slightly ahead of Team Secret, they don't have an easy run home. While Team Secret are a little bit easier, it's a big deal if SBTC can win this one against Team Secret. Marby, we'll start with you. Do you think SBTC can win today? We can get our predictions up while we talk.
Been cracks in the SGB armor. We've seen them falter to GAM. We've seen them falter to Cerberus. Earlier in the split, we saw them actually drop a series to BTS. And so that's where all their wins have come from. GAM, Cerberus, and Burst Sky. Which means there are cracks. There are definitely opportunities that that SBTC could look to exploit. Maybe if we get what we always keep harping on about, these players are just so good, they can just stomp nearly any of the competition in pure mechanical skill. In theory, that is still on the table. In practice, if it's, I think we see this. I think the predictions kind of tell us what's going to happen.
So I actually want to go back to the matchup against GAM for both of these teams, because they were pretty close to taking games or even series of GAM. SPTC had a big early game lead. I believe it was in game 2. They were 5k gold ahead, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was 3k. But they were very far ahead of GAM, and then just lost one fight and fell apart completely. It looked like they had lost all their will to fight. They lost the game in 25 minutes afterwards, after a really big early game lead. So that's concerning for me, just because it looked like there was no morale in the team. It looked like they completely lost all hope and all belief in themselves. And on the other hand, when SGB challenged GAM last week or the week before, They played them super closely. They won a game. They could have won another game. So SGB got super close to actually taking the series of GAM, a feat only one team so far has managed in a very strange fashion, right? Team Secret still
Definitely an asterisk on that one.
Yeah, so I think SGB played GAM the closest of any teams. So even though they lost in the end and they lost to Cerberus in an 0-2 fashion, I feel like that series too, if you look at the individual games, they were super far ahead in game 2. They didn't execute a very hard to execute composition correctly. Some individual mistakes from our very young players, and BeanJ especially. But it was still impressive to see them dominate Cerberus so much in the first 30 minutes. So yeah, they lost some series, but I'm actually still very much on the hype train for this team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And if we want to dive into things that are a little bit more specific with how these two teams match up, SBTC and SGB, that is, of course, it is going to be a bit of a rumble in the jungle. I'm not sure which graphic you have lined up first your way, but I will let you and Marby hash
Whatever
out
you want to
how
start with, Marby.
Well, yeah, Marby, who would you like to talk about, Yijin or the Big Bean?
Well, I'm Mr. Negative today, so let's talk about Yijin and why he is the worst jungler in playoffs or of the top 5 teams. He has come into this split with a bit of a mystery surrounding him. He didn't play at all last split, and what we did see, he looked garbage. He was replaced by Ego, and Ego shone. He's come in, he's got 2 of the best solo laners in the league to work with. He's got a super stable bot lane and one of the best roaming supports to back him up, and he has still gone out and had 0 impact on games. He has very few champions that he actually has the impact on, but we see he's going to ending up on this Gragas time and time again, 7 games on it, and it's not working out for him. He's been given Hecarim a lot, and he's not had impact on it. And really, it's never him winning the games for SBTC. They are still winning through Celebrity and Zeros in teamfights, and occasionally the big clutch 1v5 play from Deal 1. Yijin's just along for the ride. Yijin is just kind of a huge letdown.
Yeah, these stats are so abysmal, like especially in the middle part. My god, 312 damage per minute, that's support level of damage per minute. That's really bad, especially if you consider Gragas is played AP, and Hecarim for most of the part of the split was actually played as a carry too. Now he's more of a tank, but even now he still deals a lot of damage. So that's a really, really low damage number.
Hecarim is all AoE. Even tank Hecarim, it's all AoE damage.
It's not great.
There's so many tank items that give you movement speed, which it's Hecarim, it gives you more damage. So
it's very disappointing from Yijin. He is definitely the weakest point of SBTC, I think is fair to say. There are issues elsewhere on the map, don't get me wrong, but I think Yijin is the most glaring weakness. And if we look over the other side, that is simply not true for the Buffalo. BeanJ is competing for Rookie of the Split, and he's competing with his own team.
Yeah, he is, indeed.
If we switch over to BeanJ your way, I'm going to let you talk about the big man.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with this player. I think he has fallen off slightly the last few weeks. I would like him to recover and get back to his best form. In the middle of the split, he was one of the MVP candidates. He was actually leading our MVP points for 1 week at least. He got the highest points for 1 week ever. I believe it was week 4 or 5. So,
They played, I think they played 4 games, and he got 9 points in every single
it was insane. So look at his stats just in comparison. Let's start with the stat and down below there. Damage per minute, it's just 100 more. It's straight up 100 more than Yijin. You can see he's dominating every part of the game, especially the early parts. Gold difference at 614. That's individual gold difference for a jungler. That's, I believe, the highest in the whole league, higher than even Levi, or at least very competitive with him. So we can see BeanJ, he is the catalyst for the early game for SGB. They're the second best early game team in almost all the metrics, behind GAM only. And he was even competitive with Levi. And It's partly due to this player being very impressive in his rookie split, but also because his team is setting him up for success. Their coordinations on their early game invades, their synergy in mid jungle and bot jungle especially, is outstanding. I believe the best in the league, and that's something I want to stress. Keep your eyes in the early game on BeanJ and his interaction with bot lane and how he invades bot side, with Froggy backing him up too, because that's something that has brought SGB ahead again and again and again. And their early game is crisp and clean, and BeanJ is the main catalyst for that.
For sure, Barbie. Do you have anything to add?
What do I have to add to BeanJ? There's not much to say. The only thing that's sort of holding him back from being the best jungler in the league is there's still Levi kicking around.
Yeah.
Like,
but the fact that the fact that we're comparing them says a lot.
Yeah.
Because Levi is absurdly good.
Like, his damage per minute stat it says under there he's listed 3rd. Behind Levi, because Levi is cracked and can find damage out of nowhere. And behind Killer Queen, who is solo carrying his team.
Yeah.
So,
much.
really good stuff out of this kid.
Yeah, and most played Udyr, so that's not going to lead to the highest damage per minute stat, especially if the games go longer, right? Udyr, much more about the early game, kind of loses his damage midway through the game, so understandable, and it's still 100 higher on average every single game. We have played almost 30 games for every single team, right? 100 higher on average than his counterpart today. That is a huge discrepancy.
It really is. And speaking of discrepancy, we can kind of talk a little bit about playstyles of the teams in general as we head into the draft, which is about to begin. I want to just get this point in as we watch the bans happen. Saigon Buffalo are the best early game team, according to Oracle's Elixir, in the VCS. And not just according to Oracle's Elixir, according to watching the games as well. Their early games are scripted. Ridiculously scripted. You go, okay, well, BeanJ does this, and then this happens. Okay, we're just going through. Cool, take 2, guys. Didn't quite work out. Just try it again. That's their practice, I'm pretty sure. It's like getting a movie made. SBTC, way more volatile. How does that actually interact, and which kind of playstyle do you two actually prefer?
So, generally I like scripts. I think if you have a very solid game plan in the early game, it really sets you up for success, especially if you have a good late game thing to fall back on if your script goes awry. Volatility is great if you have the players to pull it off, and in theory, SBTC should have that, but their players haven't been up to snuff, especially that mid jungle, which is so key for volatile playstyles. It depends who they have sitting on the support position as well right now, because if it's Slade, their volatility goes up, and they have much higher potential for crazy plays. If they have Venus in, it's going to go right back down, and it's going to be much more withdrawn, much more stable. So, which, if you're going up against SGB, then SGB is just doing that better. And by the way, SBTC has completely entered the first half of this draft.
Oh yeah, let's focus on the draft a little bit more. This is BeanJ Hecarim, and even though he has had troubles in the later stages to really confirm the wins, especially against Cerberus, that one game comes to mind where he got caught again and again, his early games on Hecarim are to be feared. Yijin back to one of his stables. But this matchup looks very Hecarim focused in my opinion on this patch, so I'm scared for SBTC already, especially also for the bot lane, because SGB now full counter pick. Ariteon Xayah has looked great. Xayah also very good into both of these champions in the bot lane. Xayah also exceptionally good at avoiding Skarner's engage. So this is already looking quite SGB favorite here in the first half.
Yeah, see, I was actually going to object and say I don't mind them giving the Hecarim over, because I don't think Hecarim is that much better than Udyr. He's better, but I don't think it's light years apart. Then they just pick the Skarner face up like that, and they just go, okay, we're just going to pick Xayah. Yeah, is this going to turn into like a 1 damage threat composition? Possibly. We can assume that's quite likely a mid lane Galio for Froggy.
Support Galio.
Hecarim. Well, we'll see, but in general, Froggy doesn't play. In general, Froggy doesn't play super high damage champions. Hecarim's obviously not super high damage. It's probably going to be a Gnar with a Sylas ban. That screams Gnar. So yeah, Xayah's going to be the big damage composition. He's going to be the big damage threat, and Xayah's the 180 carry that doesn't care about Skarner. So I'm not a fan of this face-up Skarner, is what I'm getting to.
Yeah, let's see what the bans are aimed at. We have Silas and yeah, those are two Gnar counter picks. So it's a very obvious blind Gnar for.
And Irelia has also been taken out. Like this is just screaming Gnar.
Yeah, I think SBTC should also ban the Gnar here. I mean, you can always get away with playing something into the Gnar, but Hasmet has been very good on his engaged champions, his Ornn, his Gnar, very strong champions. Instead, they go for Rakan, so actually calling out the mid lane Galio here. It's a little bit surprising to me.
The Rakan is sort of an option that helps up against the Alistar and provides a bit, and it synergizes extremely well with the Xayah. The Gnar is the obvious pick, as you've all pointed out. So I wouldn't be surprised for that, and it retains the flexibility of the Galio. On the jungle point, SBTC, you just need the best jungler to salvage the matchup, I think, and taking Hecarim away is just so important. Yeah, being Jay or Nudi is still a menace, but giving yourself that chance to have an actual impact with Yijin pre-25 minutes is going to be super crucial. Now, with a lot of the bans left, there's only really the Renekton to sort of neutralize that lane. And now Slay is in. He's on his Alistar. We're going to have to see what he can make do. As I'm going to guess a Victor for a safe line pick for Dia.
Syndra
also wouldn't surprise me.
Ooh, Neeko would be something.
Ooh, me like Neeko.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, locked in as well. Dia1 has
We saw a lot of
Neeko
Neeko yesterday in NA. Jizuka played a lot of Neeko, looked very strong in the early game. The games were horrible. Don't go back and watch them. Stay here, because you're going to get better gameplay out of this one. But, man, his early games, his roams, his teamfight impact look quite strong. I'm a big fan of Neeko. Azir last pick feels a little bit like, okay, we don't know what to do. Also, Froggy Azir, a little bit of a different look. More carry style from Froggy.
With the Neeko lock-in, I definitely would have preferred the Galio there. Neeko's on-hit build has sort of fallen off, so you're going to have that AP damage, that sort of mage coming in from Neeko, so Galio's going to do just fine. You can match the roams, you can counter roam super effectively with the ultimate, and where Neeko's strengths are, those 15 minutes, and it matches up extremely well with Galio going for those early game roams. So I would like to see a support for Taki, maybe like a Lulu, I don't know, something good into Alistar. Nothing's coming to mind at the moment, but
yeah, this is a very weird one. The Azir throws me off for SGB. It's just not a very Froggy champion. I'm sure he can play it, let's be real. If you're a mid laner, you have to be able to play Azir by this point.
It's a weird patch to pick up Azir. He just got nerfed.
Yeah.
Froggy never plays this champ, and then he gets nerfed. And he's like, "Yeah, now it's time. Now it's time for me to play the 42% win rate champion. Let's go."
Froggy's a hipster. Like he can't pick. He can't pick what's strong on the patch. He just unless it's Seraphine, apparently. But
still waiting for Rammus, by the way.
Regardless, let's sort of turn nameplates off a little bit, because I do think this is off color for Saigon Buffalo. If we turn the nameplates off, which composition are you favoring, Barbie?
Buffalo. They've got the stronger jungler. They've got super flexible options in terms of finding engages with Galio, following up the Hecarim, or you can go Shurima Shuffle and all that. But more realistically, I really like the Azir pick into the composition, because there's so much dive that the wall can just eject. Things like if Skarner running at you, wall kicks them away. Neeko goes to put in the ult, wall kicks them away. Hecarim dives in, wall kicks them away. It's just a very good counter pick to make it.
It's insane into all 5 champions, by the way. It's really good into all 5 champions. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's got a lot more flexibility. Has lots of opportunity in the early game with the jungle support matchup, and it can scale extremely well to the late game. So Buffalo take this.
Fair enough. Your way, do you concur?
So, I think SBTC has come up with an interesting draft. I don't favor it, but I can definitely see win conditions here. It's a very scrappy, very skirmishy, very flank-focused composition. You have Nico coming maybe from invisibility, then Celebrity jumping in, Slaby trying to come in from a different angle, and then Zeros teleporting from behind too. They can't fight front to back, in my opinion. Just as Marby pointed out, everything is in SGB's favor in face-up team fights. There's no way you win into a Skarner, into Azir and Zarya, and even Gnar is pretty good at slowing him down, keeping him accountable. So yeah, I feel like front-to-back team fights should be impossible to play for SBTC, but this is a GAM-style composition with a lot of individual agency on the champions, a lot of flank potential from DR1 and Zeros. So I hope it's going to be a very cool. Yeah, indeed. So I think they try to emulate a little bit of the former GAM success from last year. I hope it's going to be an explosive one later on.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not sure what's taking so long to get into game. Probably a little bit of inting champ select, let's be real. That's what it always is. SBTC is in a very precarious spot, though. I think they desperately need this win, not just because of their standings. Like, you mentioned their lack of morale after a loss. Where they lose one close game and then just get absolutely blown out in the next. Oh, there we go. Definitely an issue because we're seeing some Vietnamese lads.
Nope, not anymore.
Oh, well,
back
we
to
are
white.
Still. Okay. Anyway, their team is in some strife now. I don't know how much we want to go into it, but that team is not very harmonious at the moment, is it?
No, there seems to be a bit of a schism.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a schism forming in that team. They don't seem to know how they want to play the game. They're apparently bringing in a bit of extra support staff to help sort of salvage their season, maybe salvage the split at least. If they stick together, maybe they come back swinging in spring. But it's not looking like the mental state is there at all for SBTC. Their morale is just shattered, and they are on a losing streak. Maybe if they can pick up a win, even if it's just a game win, if they pick up the first game, maybe that it gives them the boost to take it 2-0, but maybe. I don't know. It's really tough to say.
Maybe, but we are now going on to the rift. So, Marby, I know you said it, but reiterate your prediction for Game 1.
Buffalo just kind of outdid the draft compared to SBTC. They have all the answers, and we kind of need to give up on the Froggy only plays supportive narrative, because he's proved us many times the split he can carry.
Well, we'll talk to you again before the next game. I do agree. As your way, let's head on to Summoner's Rift, my good man.
So when I want to really focus hard on this jungle matchup, we saw the stats, we saw Yijin struggling so far, especially in early game impact, but also later in DPM. This champion is not going to boost his DPM stat for sure,
No.
but maybe he can set up his laners for success. Looking at this team and how it was crafted and put together, you have two of the most dominant solo laners, so Yijin is supposed to be the jungler enabling the solo laners to carry. He doesn't need to bring the damage, he just needs to bring the setup for Zeros and DR1. Very interesting champions for those two. Yijin back to one of his classics. He won the final spring last year. Game 5 was the Skarner into Levi's Shyvana, and he turned around the game with a big engage. So let's focus on the two junglers and how they play this early game out. I'd say BNJ definitely more focused on just trying to power farm. Yijin should step a little bit closer to actually get his attack speed, but yeah, he knows how to play this champion. So BNJ most likely not going to be super aggressive in the early game, maybe trying to go for a little bit of a scuffle in the top side. If he can contest the Spire, because fighting against Skarner level 4 into Spire is very dangerous, with DR1 also on the more mobile champion in the mid lane, so this jungle pathing is a little unfortunate for BNJ, I'd say, because he has prior in bot lane, and usually it plays very well around bot lane, so I expect them to play very defensively on the map and then try to re-invade bot side once bot camps respawn. Because as you can see, SGB's bot lane, Xayah, Galio is way, way stronger in the 2v2. So they should always have the prio over there.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I do kind of wonder where the junglers are going to actually crash into each other, as both of them are just going for that full clear.
What is going
Bit
on
of a
here?
scrap in the top side. Zeros did get in, deal a fair bit of damage there to Husmet, so he has the early priority as well. And yeah, this is very unfortunate for BNJ, because I don't think he
in
can
kill
do much
range.
about this.
I think Zeros might go for a solo kill here. If he gets the empowered W, he could stun WQ on the turret. No, he doesn't know where BNJ is. It's too risky. Husmet also got back to more than half HP, so it was a little bit dicey there. Menina has very few base stats, so not the fight you want to take. BNJ does not go for the Spire first, so now Skarner, very scary.
And he just backs straight off.
Wow.
Just back straight off, he'll just take bot
Thanks for the
scuttle.
leash.
Yep. Thanks for breaking the shield for me, man.
Indeed.
That's basically it. Hecarim's going to run straight over the mid lane, and it's just going to be the 1-to-1 scuttle split. So in the end, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much. I think it was a little bit presumptuous to think that the Skarner would be there in time. But maybe you can cheese it, and then you definitely get bot scuttle too, because you have full control on bot side. So don't mind it too much. It doesn't slingshot BNJ ahead, but also doesn't bring him behind. So now both junglers on 28 CS. See, Husmet is really struggling with this matchup early on, keeping CS and experience even at least. And once level 6, level 7 comes in, Nah wins the matchup later on. So early game against good Renekton's, it's supposed to go this way. So far in the VCS, Nah has been dominating this matchup for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, we can see Zera is a better laner than most of the other Renekton players.
It's interesting. One of the ways we've actually seen Nas getting ahead.
Oh, whoa, Froggy.
Oh, Froggy in a lot of trouble. Has to go get that shield and try and escape. Managing it, but Dia1 found the E and dealt a hell of a lot of damage there.
But how broken is Time Warp Tonic? Holy moly. He almost died there with the Time Warp. Bailed him out, got him 150 HP back immediately. Very nice rune. And Froggy stays safe. A lot of sustain board in this lane. I think it's a little bit of a war of attrition in mid lane, with both mages working with a lot of spells to wave clear. Usually Nico should have priority, especially now hitting level 6. Higher levels on Q, you can basically just one-shot the wave with EQ. So I expect Nico to establish a little bit of priority in mid lane and maybe move into BNJ's jungle, which would be very annoying for this horse. But yeah, so far, very inactive, or very low interaction game so far.
And both junglers clearly do not care about doing anything but farming, as we both just watch them stand completely motionless in front of a camp, just going, come on, respawn.
Which traditionally you'd say favors Hecarim a little bit more, though it's definitely fine for Skarner to just power farm to 6. And
Until
then
level 6, yeah.
It's fine. I think Skarner can try to do something in this matchup, especially with mid-prio. Maybe dive top lane, you have very easy CC setup, but then again, it's not easy if you don't know where the counter gang could come in, and there's a teleport for Froggy, now used, but it was available early on, so it's a very defensive early game from both sides. Usually I'd say it favors Saigon Buffalo's comp overall, because they're front-to-back team fighting, easier to execute, they are the better team fighting team to begin with, and yeah, they should just be happy to scale, which is not really their bread and butter playstyle. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Best early game rating and worst late game rating, mid-late rating on Oracle's Elixir. So let's see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, we'll have to find out, as Taki zoning off there, so Alrighty can safely farm up the rest of that wave as botline returns to equilibrium. BNJ has started up the dragon. I don't think SBTC knows at all. Oh,
No,
now
they
they
do.
will, as Eugene spots. Will BNJ just pull off this one completely? No, he'll just pull it out
Prio.
and stick on it.
Yeah, the bot prio.
Yeah,
It's actually
mid-prio as
kind of
well at the
turning
time.
right now, but SGB, look for the
Ooh,
engage.
Taki manages to
Let's
find
kill.
Celebrity spread out from the Alistair. Yeah, that's just going to be Celebrity burning to death. First blood goes over to Taki. He walked away from his cow.
Taki is the biggest smurf on the scene. Especially in the last few weeks, Taki has kind of eclipsed his jungler. Early on, we were all on the BNJ hype train, and I still am. But I think BNJ has fallen off a little bit. He's still a very impressive jungler, but Taki has really stepped up his game. His roams, his laning, it's just his champion pool as well. Just his mechanics, you can also see, check the Korean solo queue rating. He's very high up there. And this wasn't really something to look back on. It's just a foolish positioning mistake from Celebrity. He doesn't flash to the initial engage, then he flashes way too late. He cleanses before the Ignite comes in, so he doesn't even cleanse Ignite. So he basically did everything wrong he could do wrong there. But a good punish from Taki, and I want to stress this again. I think Taki is the player to look at right now in this league. Maybe even for foreign scouts, if you're interested in a support player, Taki is insane. But please don't take him away.
No, foreign scouts, bugger off, we want him. You have to take us as well, that's the deal. It's a package that Taki doesn't know about. Anyway, I mean, the thing about Taki as well is that he is the shot caller for this team. He's
At
young,
17.
but he's still, 17-year-old, he's the shot caller for this team. But you can see why. Celebrity was only mispositioned for like a couple of seconds there, and he's instantly, bang, we're going in first blood. Instantly, no hesitation. You love to see it.
Yeah, and this game is going very well for SGB. It's not as explosive as we expect them to play, but they are keeping tracks on Yijin. They have full priority in almost all the lanes. They are outscaling to begin with. So as long as the game is not volatile, as long as they can... Oh, Froggy used both his soldiers, so he can't actually eat. Yeah.
Oh, but he's got the wall!
The hell
Froggy!
is that?
That's incredible! He started the wall before the Skarner ult came in, so it still came out, and he just rode Yijin out of the gank. That's amazing!
He transformed his soldiers to not only serve for him and fight for him, but also to transport him. So he just came up with, how's it called? The thing where you get carried, the Roman emperor thingy.
A chariot.
Yeah, a chariot. He just bought a chariot for himself. Good to see.
That's amazing. That was so much fun to see. That is like... There can only be a couple of frames that's possible, I reckon.
And not
that's
only
like a frame-perfect trick.
It's really cool to see, but it's also very important. It's the very first Impale. It was Flash from Yijin as well invested, so now the Skarner is back to farming. The team is getting outscaled. They are behind in gold already. They are behind in dragons. Skarner can't do anything. It's really looking rough for SBTC, and they need to find a window. They need to find the flip.
Yeah. And then SGB are going to move on to this Rift Herald. Clean this
Another
one
objective.
up. Use the early power, the early positioning and
They need
tempo.
to be careful. Still 2k HP, and SBTC is here.
SBTC have arrived. BJ has access to that onslaught of shadows. Slay moving in. There it is. It's going to be a smite fight. Who's going to come out on top? I'm actually not sure.
BJ won.
Yep, BJ won it, but BJ's going to die as there is
That's
the
Impale use,
Nico
though.
ultimate going off. Dia1 very, very low. He comes out of stealth. Husband's going to hunt him down.
Oh, Froggy's alive!
Froggy so low, but he lives.
Oh, it's a
Targi
disaster.
3, setting up 2 kills. Celebrity dives into the backside, but it's only going to be a 1-for-1. And bingo, bango, SGB win the early game.
It's in a very good setup for SGB. They knew they had priority, and even though SBTC comes up clutch and actually gets to the objective second after SGB arrives there a little bit earlier with jungle and support, SGB is still in the vicinity, and look at Zeros, chunked out by the 2 long-range carries. Hasmet in good position, even though he has no Gnar. Imagine if this Gnar came in with a 50% stacked Gnar. The fight would have gone even more in SGB's favor. But the target calling not good enough from SBTC. Taki absolutely smurfing this fight once again, landing 2 taunts back to back, a 3-man taunt and the back half there. What an insane performance again from this rookie support. And the whole team, once again, moving together as a whole, as a unit, and now back to a 2k gold lead. It was not the invade-focused, jungle-focused early game we like to see, and we see a lot from SGB. But they still come out with a 2k gold lead, and they are outscaling. So this is a very confident early game, a very good showing so far from SGB.
We'll just say, apparently the in-game music is a little bit loud your way. Could you fix that up real quick?
Of course. Should be better
Anyway,
now. Please.
Sorry about that. If
My-
people in chat could let know. let us know. Just to explain quickly, maybe if you guys haven't been around, this isn't an official stream, so we can't have in-game sound. We'd love to. If we could, we would, but not an option. So we just use the music so that there's a little bit of sound. Anyway, let's get back into it, as there is a second dragon secured. We move to the Mountain Rift. Yeah, we'll make the noises for you.
Oh, he got caught. Oh, this should be an easy kill.
Is a big catch. There's the Pot Blossom. The wall comes out, but far too late, and the Frogstar has been found.
Nicely done from Slay. Really keeping track of the positioning and the movement from the players. Froggy went over to Bluebuff, had no flash available, so that was a pretty easy kill. Husmid is dominating Zeros. This could be...
he's about to kill him. Okay, I guess Husmid doesn't want to take that risk. Fair enough.
I think that was a pretty easy kill, honestly.
I think it's fair enough just to play it super safe. Just get the Herald, right? You don't need the kill there.
Yeah, fair enough. This is still going to be a kill, a turret secured by Husmid. So, yeah, that's a lot of gold anyway. I think the solo kill was pretty easy. He had flash, he was almost Meganar, and Zeros had no flash to work with. So, in my opinion, that should have been a pretty easy solo kill. But whatever, he still gets a big advantage. And this is the difference between the teams. Zeros would have gone for the solo kill every single day of the week. But Husmid, much more restrained, much more controlled playstyle. Doesn't want to make the game weird and volatile. He wants to play the game as they plan the game. This team is for sure the most prepared and the most pre-planned when it comes to strategies. Maybe together with Cerberus. Cerberus just a very, very good teamfight setup team. But Saigon Buffalo as a whole is just the best team, looking at win conditions, understanding what they have to do, and executing most of the time.
And I mean, this is something, while we have a little bit of a downtime, we can kind of talk about a bit, is SGB... was it SGB or Cerberus that just extended their coach's contract? Am I,
No, it's Ren. Yeah, it's SGB.
Yeah, it's Ren. I thought so. Yeah, SGB just signed their coach until 2024, which is an insanely long contract in general, but particularly in the VCS. It's a super long contract, but you can see why. They're the best coached team in the VCS.
Yeah, and I hope that also suggests...
I don't think that's close.
I hope that also suggests that this is a long-time plan, this team. This has been such an impressive split. Like, we came in expecting them to be last place. I know some people are going to laugh at us. We are actually going to go back and laugh at it ourselves for that prediction. But I'm so happy it didn't come true, because this is such an exciting rookie team. They are well coached, they are well behaved, especially compared to other teams. Their combined kills per minute is insanely high still. It's still VCS level, 1.07. And they still look like they have some restraint in them. So... I hope this is a long-time plan with all the roster working together, getting better and better. I'm so insanely hyped for Summer Split to see where this team can go.
Exactly. Saigon Buffalo are an absolute treat to watch. And I hope it continues for a long, long time, because it just gets better and better every week.
Oh, the cannon. Come on, Froggy. Yeah, he needs a little bit of individual coaching for those.
He doesn't like CSing. He's a pacifist.
Yeah, not the champion to do that.
Froggy is a League of Legends vegan. He does not partake in gold if it comes from a living creature.
Are minions living creatures? I'm not sure about that.
Well, are any of us living creatures, really?
I mean, they're animated, but maybe by magic? I'm not sure about minions being living creatures, honestly.
I don't want to get too existential here, man. Like, just a Sunday night.
Yeah, the game has slowed down significantly, but Husmid in trouble.
Yeah, he is. He is bound up. The CC chain is fantastic. He gets the flak.
Oh, no.
Surely not.
No,
he's out of there. He's gone. He's out of there.
He's dead.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
No. Oh, thank God. He's finally dead. But now they turn it around as BJ charges on in. Zeros is in trouble. It's already a 1-for-1, but Zeros is burning. He flashes away. Slay needs to find a way out as well. Will manage it. But it's a 1-for-1 that should never have been.
That was the most tilt-inducing thing I've ever seen. This Skarner, oh my God, this Skarner is fuming. He had to flash for that too. What is Taki doing though?
Yeah, Taki gets abandoned there a little bit. The rest of the team had already backed. He's just caught. Okay, well, he's still a rookie.
What was that flash from Slay? Why did he flash? What? Okay, the game has gotten a little bit more crazy, which is always good for SBTC. In a straight up front-to-back team fight style of game, a Cerberus style of game, you might say, as a VCS team, they can't win this game. So the more craziness, the better. They are still going to lose the dragon though, and that's third dragon. That's moving to Dragon Soul. And you know what front-to-back team fights teams like? A very easy objective to set up for and play around. This is some tilt coming in already. If they can't get the kill here, I think they straight up lose the series instantly, just because of tilt. Luckily, Slay comes from behind. DR1 still dies. It's a good trade here from SGB. They get Zero super low, they get Slay super low. And then it's just a little bit of a rookie mistake from Taki to not go further into his own territory to recall, which in the end, it's just the 300 gold. Moved over to Celebrity, but doesn't really do much for SGB. They still get the dragon, as I said before. 18 minutes in, looking at the 22-minute soul, which is perfect.
Yeah, this is a big one, as it's a mountain soul as well, which SGB are very happy about. They've got two big tanks in the Gnar and the Hecarim. Galio as well will benefit from the mountain soul quite a lot, as well as it makes Heroes and Xayah less squishy, even if it doesn't make them tanky.
Yeah, it's insanely bad for Neeko as a champion to play against Mountain Soul.
Yeah.
Because she's very burst-focused.
She doesn't hit her burst window.
Yeah, she's a very burst-focused champion, and if there is 300 more HP to work through, or you could even argue 350 effective HP, because 2 Mountain Drakes, that's a significant amount of MR too, especially if some of the guys go for MR items, like the boots for Froggy. So that Neeko is going to struggle later on to have any kind of impact. She's very setup, a very setup champion now with Everfrost. So the main carry has to be Celebrity, and luckily for them, Celebrity actually got all the gold here. So there is a chance.
A chance, for sure. Husband trying to steal away a blue buff, can't quite do it. As the rest of SBTC
so greedy for this
in.
one.
Oh, didn't quite get it. Celebrity secures it with that Acathian Rain.
Yeah, he should have thrown the boomerang in the other way. It travels way further back. He can actually run away, and then there was a Herald steal in LCK, I believe, using that technique.
Ooh, might have to go look for that one. Slay goes for a little bit of a cheeky play. Doesn't actually find anything though with that Hex Flash. And we continue with just this 1.5k gold lead for SGB. It was 2. So SBTC are SGB are ahead. I think that's what I said.
So,
regardless, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you short there.
Bail me out.
So 20 minutes in, Baron has spawned. Shouldn't be an objective to look at right now for SGB. So maybe something SBTC could try to trade for the Mountain Soul if they make the judgment that they can't fight for Mountain Soul. And I think this is going to be where the game explodes and where the game breaks open for either side, the Mountain Soul fight. So let's look at summoners available. We have Flash coming up for Heejin and Zeros in time, I think, and all the flashes available for SGB there too. So the only one I'm looking at, not quite sure if it's going to be available, is Slays, but should be available too, because he flashed before the last dragon went down, so that's a 5-minute window. We have all the summoners available, so the next thing we need to check is vision setup, which is very much in favor of SGB, and of course item completion. And there we see Celebrity actually on a 2-item power spike compared to not quite 2 items finished on Ariety, and only 1 item for Froggies. In the straight up carry matchups, there might be a slight advantage for SBTC. Let's see how they can penetrate the very good setup for SGB. The team fight composition should be able to prevent Celebrity from flying.
There's the 2 items for Ariety.
Yeah, that's pretty big. He's still not quite as strong as Kaiser on this item breakpoint, I would argue.
That's true.
So Kaiser might be the one to bail SBTC out. Slay got this one. Oh, man.
Hey, to be fair, pretty sure that was like Barmies or something.
Yeah, it was Barmies for sure. It was.
Yeah, that's not his fault. Look, he's just trying to make sure he can provide for his kid. As we continue to move on, 50.
There's not a single
seconds.
flank ward in the enemy jungle. That is really bad for their composition. Can they catch out BJ?
Oh, look how deep BJ's gone. That's a huge mistake. He
it was
just gets
Heejin's ult.
completely caught out. Yeah, but he shouldn't have been that far up, I don't think. His husband has arrived, but gets knocked over the wall right as he goes mega. Excellent play out of Slay. Ariety in the middle of no man's land, but that Gale Force was one of the clutchest I've seen in a long time. But with BJ dead, SBTC should be able to set up the dragon.
Yeah, they should definitely move into the river here, secure some vision, maybe even secure a flank ward. Very nice pink ward. I really like this one, because it really disables the flank potential from behind the river. Might have been a little bit early, because now Yijin's ultimate isn't going to be down. Dia1's ultimate looks like it's going to come up again. Very short cooldowns there. Can they try to burst down the dragon? BJ is sprinting here, and he has Ghost available.
He's very fast.
I'm clenching. This is where the game gets decided. If SGB wins, if SBTC wins, they buy a little bit more time. Hasmed has Mega. He has the blast cone too.
Has a blast cone.
Oh,
you can see it coming your
way.
way.
Oh my
you
god!
Can see it coming. He goes in. He doesn't really get much of a gnar out of it though. It's not quite enough. It's BJ in the backside. There's the Pop Blossom on the front. Zeros will be the first one to fall. Now they're going to try and turn it around onto Dia1. He goes gold. Slay in the front side, and there goes Celebrity flying into the backside. He's got a low health Brocky and a low health BJ right in front of him. He has to navigate this one as Husband gets it. Taki low, but getting away. Celebrity still public enemy number one right here. As he's coming on in, he can get quadra kills here. No question. Husband has picked up another one. The dragon is dangerous as well.
Husband needs to carry them.
Waiting on the E cooldown. Now Husband arriving. I think that's too much of a front line. There's the stride breaker. Taki dies, but gives his life for the cause. Mountain Soul is secured.
What a beautiful setup for SGB. This is maybe their best play so far from the whole arsenal. They've done this before against Team Secret, I believe it was, in Game 2, where they have a great setup, all the vision secured for Dragon, and they know how to fight around Dragon Pit. What a great flank from Hasmed. He doesn't actually go for the angle I would have thought he would go for. I thought he would blast cone over and then flash to the side and actually gnar everyone in the left side wall. But I guess he thought the right side wall was a little bit better. He doesn't actually get the gnar on the stun on anyone, so Hasmed could have done so much more in this fight if he angles the ultimate slightly better.
But Hasmed still does do a lot.
Oh, for sure. Hasmed could have won the fight in the first second, but he still wins the back half of the fight here, chasing down two members, completely negating Dia1 and the enemy support. He gets 2 kills and then actually groups back up with his team because his team is struggling. There's a very scary Kaiser on the other side. Look at the health bars. Oh man, I do not want to be in this dragon pit right now. But Hasmed bails them out. Very nicely done. And this should be game. SGB playing a very good, very stable game so far. Drawn into some of the fights. It's still a 17 kill game, right? So we were no means slow. But Mountain Soul now secured a 3k gold lead and the outscaling position.
Husmed's in a lot of trouble. He's been caught out. The Galio is going to come in to try and save. Ooh, Taki maybe overcommitting after a bad situation.
Oh, don't Justice Punch.
Trying to Justice Punch away, but he can't quite do it. Taki on low health, but he is managing to get back to the tower, covered by BJ and Ariety.
Yeah, and this is the other phase of SGB. A little bit over-aggressive still, a little bit overzealous, and sometimes just... the teamwork is too good for this team sometimes. Taki, just let your top laner die. There's no reason for you to ult in. SBTC want to flip again. Hasmed is dead, no teleport, 20 seconds. And Slay...
I think this is their best chance. This is a good opportunity, I think. Slay, Hex flashes back to safety. BJ is here.
Alistar has no ult. He basically is just... He's a one-shot.
Oh, he's already used the headbutt, but there's the Baron going down. BJ did not get towards the pit. They'll pick up this one kill, but they need more to make this one worth it. BJ bearing forward onto Dia1, whips him back towards the team. Slay trying to turn it around. I don't think you wanted that one. Slay, it's a double kill for Taki. Celebrity in there. No. Featherstorm used. Yijin, he presses R, but it's too late. Oh, he actually will pick up the kill, so now Taki... Yeah, but it's still, 3 kills back, but that Baron does basically nothing.
It does close the gold gap, but that's not good enough. You need to be ahead on this composition. You need to actually have an item advantage to make use of your burst windows, but now you're playing against an item disadvantage and Mountain Soul to make the burst even less likely. So the Baron should not really do anything but extend the game. Of course, if you extend the game long enough, Elder Dragon... might be a possibility, only 2.5 minutes out, and the Smite fight went over to Yijin this time around. BJ didn't even really try to get in there. So, maybe Elder Dragon plus a burst composition can always lead to a win. Yeah, so that's the next big fight.
Elder Dragon makes miracles happen. Yulei. As Husband continuing to get tankier and tankier. Oh, he's not going to get the crab. That's tragic. That's tragic. You can't look at him. He's in his little parka. He's got his beanie on, and you stole his lunch, like Yijin. You're a meanie.
Well, and right now the Baron can't really amount to much because they only have one Baron buff left in Yijin. They can't really siege 5v5 because, as I said many times already, they can't win 5v5 team fights if it's on the lane, if it's a straight up 5v5 front to back fight. There's no way for them to win. Arighty should try to farm as much as possible, get to 3 items before the big fight in 2 minutes. He's already on 2 components, so 1,225 gold is what we're looking at. He should definitely be able to get there. And if he has IE finished for Elder Dragon, I don't see a way SBTC wins the fight.
Well, we'll have to see, because SBTC has been playing this one very close.
Yeah.
They have been managed to be very strong in the clutch. And who knows what could happen. This has been a sloppier look out of SGB so far today. There's been some uncharacteristic mistakes, particularly from BJ.
I feel like we see a little bit of the Zeros EVOS from last year. They were very focused on Barons, very early Barons. So they went for Barons every single time they could, EVOS from last year. And they were a good pick team. And I feel like Zeros has brought a little bit of that to SBTC today, where they were focused on picks and on the Baron. And both resulted in good outcomes. It's probably not quite enough to win this game, but it's a good look at least after a horrible fight earlier at the first Rift Herald at 10 minutes. And gold back to dead even. Now with the turret falling, of course, going to go back into SGB's favor. And Arighty needs to find a win to recall. He doesn't have the IE completed, and the dragon is spawning in 25 seconds. This is a little bit of a botched play from SGB, in my opinion. They have more time to work with because of the Azir turret, but there's no recall from Arighty. This is bad item planning, in my opinion. Yijin, what are you doing there?
He overextended to get a blue buff. He does manage to scuttle away, though, because Skarner's very
Look
quick
at this
to have his
SGB
fire.
clearing out the wards, trying to get rid
They're
of all the flank
recalling.
wards. And this
Oh,
is...
Yijin goes in. They find the pick. Oh, straight onto Froggy. He's in so much trouble. He has to press R as soon as he comes
Why
out.
is he alive?
There it is, the wall.
What?
He's living. He's getting out of there, Yulwei. And now Slay diving back in, trying to extend this fight. SBCC still wants this one as Yijin is channeling his fire, picking it up. And we're going to have to wait until the second round of this knockout fight.
The front line is poked out, though.
Osmed.
Slay, why? Slay, why?
Going forward, Slay! No! He's been slain! The tier 1 clone goes in for a moment, but it's that one kill. It's just the support dead. SBTC needs to continue the fight.
Look at
You
Nas
can't
ult
lose Elder
cooldown.
Dragon.
Look at Nas ult cooldown. It's going to be available again if he gets Mega again. So this means...
It's available every Mega.
Yeah.
It is available every Mega.
This could be something SPTC does not keep in mind. This could really blow the game wide open if he hits another Gnar. Tier 1 trying to find an angle. They are 5v4.
Tracking that Gnar bar.
No IE though on the ADC.
He's moving forward. He's been ulted. He's about to go Mega. Can he get the ultimate off? He can. He slams them into the wall. And he's taking them all down. The first kill going over to Arighty. Celebrity, the second target. He gets the shield from that Kaiser ultimate. But the big Tarky coming. Can't quite get close enough. It's only that one
Teleport
kill.
for
But it's
Zeros
the
available.
jungler your way.
Teleport for
The
Zeros
jungler
available.
is down.
He's trying to find an angle. There's the flank ward. This
There it
was the
is.
one they didn't find.
Pings are on it. SGB's aware.
They have smite.
But they're going to
They
continue
should
the
not lose
dragon.
this one.
3,000 health. Slay dives on in. Let's watch this dragon. Watch this dragon.
go.
It goes down. BJ gets it. SGB. Can they extend the fight and use these executes? Zeros desperately diving in. But Arighty's dragon roars. The laser goes bang. Froggy goes down on the other side, but it doesn't matter. SGB just needs to head for the hills and take the advantage home.
This is valuable footage for SGB. They're still going to win the game and the fight. But this was quite sloppy from them. Not only did Froggy overstep and got caught by the flash impale from Yijin, they also didn't use their reset timers correctly. They had to fight the whole fight with Arighty on a very bad item timer compared to Celebrity. This could have been so much easier with IE completed, but instead they had to clench. They had to rely on Hasmid smurfing once again. But in the end, Yijin also makes the call. They collectively make the call to try and burst Hasmet before he transforms, but it's not quite enough. And then, of course, because he dragged Hasmet into his team, it's the perfect positioning for Gnar. A little bit unfortunate. I don't really fault them for their decision. If you can kill Hasmet there, you eliminate the biggest threat, but not quite able to do so. And in the end, that's Elder Dragon for them. It's a good effort for SBTC. I especially liked how Xerath tried to get back into the backline, but he's just not strong enough. Celebrity, with a heroic effort as well, really trying to carry his team.
It's just not enough.
In the end, it's going to be Elder Dragon and Baron. Now SGB really should try to finish this game. They have all the advantages on their side. Level 17 Froggy, level 16 Oraiti with 3.5 items, double big buffs for them as well. Only 50 seconds left on the Elder Dragon, but still the Baron to siege. So this should at least be 2 inhibitors on this Baron siege.
You would definitely think so. They are coming down this mid lane at the moment. 35 seconds left on the Elder. Of course, worth keeping in mind, first Elder buff is very, very short. If you go for the Baron off the back of it, you actually don't get a huge amount else. Ooh, BJ going forward. Look at him go! Camptown Racer coming on in, and SGB look like they don't want to play more of this.
No, it's going to be Mini in a second.
Yeah, but look at the towers just melting. Yijin goes in and he... Really? You ult Taki? Really, Yijin? That's your ult target? My word. There's one shutdown going over to Celebrity, but it doesn't matter because the Nexus falls. And SGB go up to the 1-0 lead here in our first series of the day. A dominating performance, though perhaps not as clean as we expect.
Yeah, you said it after Champion Select. It's not quite what we expect from SGB, right? They tried a different style again. I like to see that. Their players are almost secured. 7. They could go to second place. They could still be competitive, but it's hard for them to move in the standings. So it's important for them to win the series, but it's still valuable to maybe collect some more data, see what you can actually perform with. Tried the Cerberus style today. It didn't look quite as clean as when they go for their bread and butter, their invade-focused, early game-focused composition. But in the end, the game wasn't really ever in danger of falling into SBTC's hands. So it's not a clean victory, but a confident one. And it's a nice 1-0 over one of the other playoff teams.
And we will find out if they can make it a 2-0 or if they're super big time chicken. We'll fight back. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in about 10 minutes here on PCS English. We hope you're enjoying the show.
Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding out for the other side.
Welcome back. In this battle of the animals, it is the buffalo that have drawn the first blood. Kind of makes sense. I think a buffalo would beat a chicken in a fight. But we'll have to see if the modern day velociraptors can fight back, or if it will be a 2-0 stomp for the African savannah. We'll find out soon. My name is Everyday. With me is Marvin Ogie and Your Way. This is the VCS English Analyst Desk. And Marby, without being too rude, what was your take on game one?
Jungle Diff. BJ wasn't actually all that impressive in the game. Like he had a very solid game, but he didn't really stand out. There were much more standout players on his team. Yet he still jungle diffed Yijin, because Yijin was one of the least effective Skarners I've seen ever. And I have played low rank solo queue and seen Skarner there before, and my god, it was terrible. Them big loss, the fight around that dragon pit, Yijin got Gnar-ulted, didn't even get stunned, and he's just like, oh, I'm going home. Going home, fellas. I watched that play the first time, and I was like, and Yijin, and by the end of it, it was like, okay, 4 of them are dead. Yijin got out.
What?
Yijin was on the other side of the map at full health, and I was confused because I was like, he was there at the start of that fight. They picked Froggy, didn't they? And then turns out he just went into a bush and recalled while his team got the rest of the team down to these tiniest slivers of health bars. And if Yijin had just been there, they probably win that fight. But he left. He abandoned his team. And at this point, put No Way in the jungle. He can't do worse.
Very, very harsh words from Marby, but, perhaps deserved. Yijin been very, very disappointing. As we highlighted in our pregame, yeah, he's just not the better jungler here, despite the fact that he's played for 2 years longer than BJ. Let's head into the draft and see if anything changes. I think red side actually favors SBTC pretty hard. They're the better, theoretically, they're the better individual players. Get some counter picks and see what you can do.
That's he can't tell me that right now. I don't think they're the better individual players.
I said theoretically.
Theoretically, for sure. Yeah, coming into the season, we expect the solo laners to actually be the best in the whole league. Yeah, didn't really work out that way. Celebrity had a very impressive game last game. Actually, I gave a point to him. I thought he was outstanding. He got a little bit of a gift wrap kill in the mid game, but then really pushed it and made SGB work hard for the win. So maybe try to play a little bit more through Celebrity, even though he had a big mistake in the early game too, right? The first blood was him overstaying and going too far away from his turret and the safety of his support. But afterwards, I thought he played almost flawlessly and put a lot of pressure on SGB to perform.
So SGB actually banned Skarner. Perhaps a little bit of mercy, getting Yijin not to pick that one again. Because it's just going to set up the Hecarim Udyr trade. I think SGB will first pick Hecarim here pretty much 100% of the time, and you just... Oh, no, you first pick Thresh, because Thresh is open. Okay, you're happy taking the worst half of Hecarim Udyr if you get Thresh.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you are just kind of wondering why you left that Gunner open. You could have banned the Hecarim. Realistically, the rail trade comes through. Rail ban comes through as well. I guess because then they have to decide, do they want to play against Rail or do they want to play against Thresh? Most of the time people would prefer to play against Thresh paired up with a hyper carry than the Rail at all.
Do we go Jinx
So-
here for SGB? That's my question.
I'd like it. I wouldn't
mind it.
it.
You have
probably
a lot of
Kai'Sa,
options.
by the way.
Oh, what the hell?
The Nautilus is a good champ into Thresh. It's one of his
But
winning
this
matchups.
early?
Blitzcrank's just a better Nautilus. into
Yeah,
Thresh.
Blitzcrank is pretty good too. But, I mean, I think Nautilus is a little bit better later on as an engaged champ. But I don't mind it too much. You banned the Kai'Sa. I didn't see that before. So you are basically saying, okay, SGB, pick your ADC. We're going to pick the counter. I think SGB can get away with the Jinx here because Kai'Sa is gone. So the Jinx counters, I guess you could try something like a Caitlyn to outrange her in lane. But Caitlyn, yeah, I think Jinx is a very easy pick here. Caitlyn and Nautilus are also not the greatest lane, so I think SGB has gotten away once again with a very good opening to the draft, and they are very flexible in draft. They're a very good drafting team.
What do you think about them picking Olaf over Udyr? Udyr was open.
I like it. I don't like Udyr. Udyr is stinky.
It indicates that they want to go for a completely different style of jungle pathing. They want to really go hard on this early game. I think they're going to look to try and get as strong solo lanes as they can, so Olaf can look to
Seraphine is open, by the way.
jump into that, get into that jungle.
Olaf Seraphine actually makes Olaf scale. So if that's the plan, to have Seraphine, Olaf, and then Jinx as basically the main carry later on, I really like that team composition.
I mean, if SGB gets Seraphine here, like, do we even need to play the
Cut the
game?
tape.
I look, I'm sitting about 5 minutes away from the kitchen. We can just have 45 minutes of the VCS English cooking show. Because it'll be more entertaining.
Karma ban. Like, that's another enchanter. Very good together with Olaf. Pretty good into Na as a top laner too. Samira and Zarya is banned.
So the
Samira's-
ban towards the Karma suggests to me that they're more worried about the counter picks and they're more likely to be locked in Seraphine
It's Sivir time, by
themselves.
the way.
Maybe. Ooh, Twitch.
What?
Are we
I
getting
would be
ready?
very
Wait, you
confused.
can't
We getting
play lane.
wrapped?
Yeah, no. You can't play lane as Twitch into Thresh Jinx. That's straight up impossible to play. I don't think you can ever go Twitch. That's a lot of CC for enabling or maybe trying to catch Ariety on the Jinx. Ariety has had good Jinx games, but he now has to deal with so much threat on the other side. Not even a Lantern will help him there. So I mean, Seraphine is free. Yeah, Seraphine is super strong here, trying to.
This is such a
Stay
hard
back.
win of a draft. This is just a draft kingdom.
If they wanted to go,
It's
for
a very
something
good blue side.
Cannon to play into Na, they still have that option.
Nah, they need a little bit more frontline, in my opinion. I think Cannon would make your team a little bit too squishy into all the bursts on the other side.
I wouldn't mind. Ornn,
Irelia would be an
honestly.
interesting option. Is she open? No,
Irelia's
she's banned.
banned.
No,
Okay.
she's banned. I think Ornn makes sense. Kind of get like loses.
Yes!
Whoa!
Okay.
Right!
Okay, when you have one
Also
ADC
frontline.
that's under a lot of threat, what do? You don't give him a tank, you give him another
second
ADC. Yes.
Which one? 2 hyperscale ADCs. You can only focus one, bitch. Let's go.
Oh my god, this is amazing. And this is Hasmet into Zeros. This is the one player
And
Hasmet.
Corky picked. What is going on? Is this the
Alright.
VCS?
It's scale.
Already,
Outscale
alright.
Seraphine. It makes sense. Yeah, I don't think it's.
But when does Dia 1 play Corky?
Yeah, that's weird.
It's an
That's
AD
true.
carry. Theory, he's good at those.
That's true. That's true. This is a draft to look back on. I think you got something, Beast, to tweet about. This is an amazing draft. So we've seen Hasmet be successful against Zeros, not against Zeros, against Gnar on this Vayne. That game was incredible. He stomped the Gnar in lane. So I'm really excited to see Hasmid actually stand up to Zeros. He told us in an interview, or I should say, he said in an interview that Zeros was the one top laner who was not scared of, but basically said Zeros is still better than I. So I really like to see Hasmid's confidence and how he's basically just taking it to Zeros with a counter matchup. Scary.
I mean, that's a Vayne top. You'll wait. There is a Vayne top. This is interesting. And I mean, you play a lot with Beast, and he's a bit of a Varus one trick. What do you think of Varus at the moment? Is it strong?
I mean, I haven't really played with Varus much.
So,
It's a poke champ, mostly. It has great CC setup, it's very strong in lane still. But it's not a main carry, that's why they needed a main carry as a last pick. So the Corki actually makes a lot of sense in this composition. And just looking at SBTC's comp, I don't hate it. I actually think they have a very good composition. The question is it as good as SGB's composition?
so here's the thing with Varus. They're probably not gonna go for the sort of lethality Dark Harvest.
You think so?
Poke.
Oh.
No, it's gonna just be
It won't be
a,
Dark Harvest, it'll be Comet.
No, it won't be anything to do with the poke. I think whenever I've seen it in the LPL or other regions, it's been that lethal tempo, just standard crit build 80 carry.
Fair enough.
It's
Interesting, because now that we share an apartment, not 2 hours ago, I was saying, are you watching the LPL? And I checked in, and Kramer was actually playing the Arcane Comet.
yeah,
Virus.
but here's the thing
call
about
that.
Kramer. He's
Well,
bad.
they're bad.
LGD's bad.
Yeah, I just think it's funny because I know you didn't watch that specific game, and I happened
Yeah.
to.
Whenever I've checked it, they've lent more towards the crit build. Maybe they sometimes take Comet if they have a rough lane and want that just long range harass.
I think
But-
crit build is pretty bad in this game, I have to say. I think you need to outrange the Jinx. I think you need to try and ult Q the Jinx to chunk her to low HP, and then your Corki can jump in, your Gnar can jump in, your Hecarim can jump in. So I think, yeah, in this game I would definitely prefer the lethality build, especially also because you have the other main carry, the big crit carry in the mid lane. So I think it would be a little bit foolish to go for attack speed, because you just get outranged and outdamaged by Jinx anyway, right?
I think
Well-
the main issue is there's the sustain from the Seraphine that denies that. So anyway, I think more important. I'm just gonna round it out and say
Yep, go
it was
ahead.
a close game last game, and SBTC lost. So that means they no longer want to play League of Legends. FTB.
Oh man.
Fair enough. Just cover me for a sec your way while I pick
Also
up.
called it.
Yeah, it is lethal tempo. Good call. I disagree with the choice, but fair enough. He wants to go lethal tempo. He wants to be Jinx, but worse. So fair enough. If he wants to go for that, he can go for that. Jinx also going lethal tempo. A little bit surprising to me. We've seen a lot of Conqueror Jinx. Seems to be the preferred choice across the globe, but he wants to have more attack speed, a little bit stronger early push, I guess, and a little bit of better early game traits, but it's weaker in the late game. Because Conqueror, yeah, you have so much attack speed
Yeah.
anyway, so Conqueror gives you another form of healing, a little bit more AD, which is nice with a lot of attack speed, so a little bit confusing, but we'll see what he does.
Late invade, the SGB special. They move in, take away a red buff. I'm sure that SBTC knows this has happened though, so it should just be vertical jungling.
Yeah, Zero's also spotting out Hasmid, so they know where Hasmid is coming from, which is very
This
suspicious.
favors SGB though.
But yeah, the top laner running to top lane through Tribrush is very suspicious. Probably screams, yeah, there's a red buff being done by the jungler. But this is a nice defensive ward to spot Legion's positioning. Now look at Olaf moving into mid lane. He might be able to secure his own red buff, so this might still be a 3 buff.
Yeah, he might come out one camp overall behind. Well, actually, no, it'd be even, but one would be a buff.
I think he
'cause
left
the
one
chickens were
chicken.
taken.
No, I think he left one chicken. Let's see his CS.
Oh, did he?
He definitely went to the chickens. Oh my god,
What
what is
is-
this?
This is so aggressive,
This is,
my word.
oh,
he
he's
wants
a
to
much
just win the
stronger
game.
champion at level 2.
Yeah,
He's a
he
much
just wants to
stronger
win the game right here. Yejin on the run. I'm not actually sure who got the smite there.
My god, Heejin is out of this game. Heejin can't farm a single camp. He is forced to
But
go
who
topside.
got the smite on the wall?
Yeah, BJ got it.
Okay, there we go. Deal one. Got an axe. BJ's not done either. I think he wants to keep going aggressing onto Yijin.
Yeah, this is very good for him to go mid lane afterwards. He could have gone back to his jungle and maybe get a few seconds off his clear, be a little bit quicker on the whole clear. But he's here to deny Yijin level 6, and he's not actually focused on accelerating himself. Look at the bot lane once again. SGB spot. Oh my god, no, you can't tell me. No.
Oh my! This is bullying. This is
Holy!
animal cruelty.
I love this team so much. Their early game plans are amazing. Playing around BJ, playing around the bot lane, being always superior.
I know they're not on the cast, but Marby, when are you ordering your SGB jersey? Because look what they're doing to Yijin. This must be catharsis for you. He has 10 CS, which is actually not too far behind BJ, but there's
What
nothing
the
available.
hell did
Husmed
he
flash!
just do?
What did you just do, Husmed?
I think he messed up his E-flash combo thingy.
Yeah.
Maybe? Honestly, I think Husband
all
could
I
have
know
gotten the
is
kill with just auto-attacking, honestly.
That was a very stinky Vayne play.
Let's
Wow,
look at this
that was
again.
bad.
I think he had the kill with just auto-attacking him. He has more auto-attack damage, for sure.
Yeah,
He
of
dodges
course.
the first
Dodges
one.
is done.
Not the greatest. I think he's missing some auto-attacks here. Maybe not.
Why?
He flashed a little. He wanted to flash the boulder toss.
The boulder. Yeah. he
Which
wanted to flash the
makes
boulder, but it hadn't
sense,
actually
but I
come
think
out.
he can actually flash reactively. He tried to anticipate the boulder and then would still got hit by the boulder. So, actually made a little bit of sense there, but yeah, unfortunate. Now the Gna's ahead. The Gna is never going to win this lane, even with 2 or 3 solo kills. It's impossible for him to win, but now he should at least be able to farm and get experience. Also, Wayne no flash, so maybe something Yijin can exploit if he's ever back on the map. Look at him, level 3. He gets his
Does Yijin...
4th camp.
Look at the farm gap.
Yeah, it's
so
disgusting.
Yijin is almost half of BJ's farm. And how much does BJ have left to farm? Oh, an entire jungle quadrant?
Oh, Taki actually
over.
focusing celebrity.
Oh, Taki, you smurf, coming on in now. Froggy gliding
flash.
in, gets the flash. Slay, Spider Nauts out of there. They will survive, but the flash is
Oh.
burned.
Taki, that was a pretty bad hook. But nice play, good roam from Froggy
I
as
think
well.
even if that hits.
Look at Yujin, he's trying to counter jungle topside, but there's nothing available. He's level 3. He's level 3 at 5 minutes. The whole bot set is still available for BJ, which is actually not great, because they're all level 1. All the camps are level 1, so he's not going to get level 6 of this one. And Yujin needs to be
Husband
careful.
spots Yujin.
He's going to die
He
if
does.
yeah. You can't dive this. There's no way you can dive this Wayne with a level 3 Yijin. I mean, Zerus is level 6. Maybe if he prepares the Gna correctly, they can just CC him to death. But yeah, very unlikely.
Yeah, Vayne, one of the squishier top laners, after all. But, I mean... do the lanes even matter in this game?
Yeah,
Look at the jungle gap!
So I would say the game would be over if Husband got the first kill in top lane. I would say the game's just straight up over. If top lane is ahead on its own and the jungle can't impact this very volatile top lane matchup, the game's probably just done, because mid lane is winning, bot lane is winning, BJ is 2 levels ahead, gets all the objectives. But because top lane is actually a strong point now for Zerus and SPTC, there is a chance to get back into the game. We talked about the very squishy composition for SGB and all the CC setup for SPTC. So in a late game team fight with all the AoE from DR1, from Yijin, from Zerus, if they can just burst the 280 carries, there's a good chance they can still win this game. So I wouldn't call it quits, but it's a super impressive bot side play and coordination from BJ and Taki, and of course Ariety there as well, to get
Ooh,
1k
hang on,
gold
there's a bit of
lead.
a play on the top
7
side.
minutes.
Look at the lane positioning on top side. There's a fight.
Yeah.
Okay, the observers just aren't going to notice. Are we ever going to look?
There we are.
I don't know. I guess we don't get to see how this fight
what the
actually
fuck?
started.
Zerus!
Husmed managed
Zerus!
to outplay. Oh my god! Husmed playing with pixels.
Zerus, where did you... What was that boulder? I think his mouse was at the wrong position. No, there was a free solo kill for Zerus. And he boulder tosses to where... Yeah, he probably tosses the boulder to where he wants to get a new jungler from or something, but this was... Ay, 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 that was a free kill for him. Husman has no mana, he can't even Q away from this one. I think he gets enough mana to Q once more. But look at this, Husman can't even Q. What? Where did this go? Why did it go this way? Zeros, what did he expect to do with this one?
Yeah, Zeros outplayed himself there.
Yeah, he did.
He anticipated the tumble, but there was no mana. The tumble was never happening.
Now the flash actually goes the other way. Both top laners killed the other top laner while the other top laner flashed. So now flash is going to be available for Husman again. He is very far ahead now in gold. It's going to be far ahead in itemization too. So this is now a scary lane to go back to for Zeros, especially with all the pressure from BJ. Yijin has been able to catch up slightly in experience at least. BJ is more focused on actually securing all the objectives than accelerating himself and trying to re-invade all the time. So BJ not optimizing his experience, but instead trying to play for his team, to set up his team. I like to see that. It's good play for BJ. He's still 2 levels up, so it's still no problem whatsoever. Husman, what did you just do? What is happening in top lane?
It's a good question. Zeros actually navigating
BJ,
this counter matchup
careful.
really well. Ooh, BJ didn't read this one well. Yijin, I don't know if he revealed himself. Actually just kind of backed off there.
Oh, the
It goes,
Smurf.
he gets one. It nearly got Yijin in the bush. Oh, but Froggy got the Seraphine, and now BJ, he gets a wave of CS. He'll drop the Rift Herald, I assume. And it's just gone from bad to worse.
Oh, that's such a cool play. It's also a set play. We get to see Sargon Buffalo in full form today. All their set plays. It was a bait and then a counter bait, and then Froggy just walked up there, pressed his R and walked back to mid lane. He wasn't even interested in anything else afterwards. He was like, okay, my job here is done, and it was. His job
He
there
needs
was
to be
done
careful.
for sure.
Herald charges. That's 2 plates over to the main.
Yijin happy to finally get some experience. And now they want to
Ooh,
get the
Dia1
counter kill
coming in
here.
with the package, but look at the teleport. Yijin immediately going low. He has to exit the fight. He goes down. Dia1 trades one back. Husmed just waiting for the condemn. It doesn't
Oh,
come in
Froggy,
time, but
what is
Froggy
this
over
Smurf?
the wall. The high note comes in, gets the snare, gets the kill for Husmed.
Yeah, giving Froggy Seraphine might not be a good idea. Because not only is this champion very strong and fits the playstyle.
Oh, what happened down
in
here?
bot lane? I think there was solo kill for SBTC. Yeah, very nicely done. Maybe even 2. Wait, how did
Yeah,
we
looks like
completely
2.
miss that? What the hell?
Nah, just the one. Just the one.
It's a good counterplay from SPTC. So far, they've been on the back foot in the bot lane, especially in laning phase. But now 1 kill over to them. It's not going to offset all the advantages on the other side of the map. Froggy's getting stronger and stronger. Low econ build, so he's going to be much, much better on one item than his counterpart in Dia1. Dia1 no flash now either, so he can't even really go for aggressive plays anymore. And look at Dia1's mana, it's very... oh no, he actually used the W very early on, so never mind me. Dia1 no mobility spell after this flash, and this Froggy, holy. Setting up his Vayne for success once again. Zeros can't enter the lane. And we're looking at 1.5k gold lead at 11 minutes.
That we are. This is the Buffalo early game putting on a masterclass. They got everything they wanted. It's maybe 1 or 2 mistakes here and there from Husmed, but it doesn't matter as it is totted out to a 4-1 Vayne on the top side. Jinx farming up nicely, a little bit behind Celebrity, but nothing to write home about. Both of their carries getting bigger and bigger. And of course, that jungle gap still exists. 1 level and 20 CS.
And Yijin needs to be so careful when he chooses his fights, because if BJ is there or if Froggy can get there, the fight is just over. He's not strong enough to really impact anything. He needs to rely on the damage of his carries, because look at his itemization. He has 2 ruby crystals. Yay!
Ooh.
And that's another free objective, Sargon Buffalo dominating all parts of the map. Especially when it comes to the objectives. It's going to be another very quick Dragon Snowball. BJ hitting level 9-2 off this one. Look at the top lane turret. And now another play in bot lane.
Yeah, they're going for Slay. The Super Mega Death Rocket is
No
used.
Slay,
He's getting
no!
back under the tower,
Slay.
and there's the kill. He couldn't spider Nord away. Celebrity goes as well. Varus sent to the chambers. Now Husmed trying to get away. Is in that
get the
old
yard
form. Can
play.
use his stealth. He wants the
Oh,
kill.
no. Oh,
He wants
no,
Zeros.
no.
He wants Zeros, but he doesn't have that flash. Now he has to get away from Yijin. Under the tower, he nearly gets the double.
Yeah, if he dodges the last Q from Zeros, he actually gets the double kill there. If he doesn't get
Yeah.
hit by the boomerang and doesn't go down to 100 HP, he gets the double easily. Wow, this game is getting out of hand for SBTC, and honestly, looking at the composition, it feels like SGB is a little bit styling on them. I'm not sure if I'm
Yeah.
ready to really call the Vayne a legitimate counterpick. It is good into this matchup. It's still so risky to play, and they've done it twice
It's
now.
a lane counter for sure. I think it's very much the same style as Quinn into Renekton.
Yeah, I think Vayne definitely has some options later on into Na as well. Na can't even lay a side lane into Vayne. He's just dead every time he tries to enter lane. And Vayne has Condemn to get him out of team fights. Taki quietly...
Taki.
Yeah, Taki is such a smurf. Oh, Slay, no.
Well, to be fair, the tower dodged it.
The tower just sidestepped. It's the revenge.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's actually the revenge from the tower, because how many times have we seen hooks go straight through the tower to actually catch a target behind the tower? So the revenge of the tower, very much earned for Nautilus as the champion.
But this is getting worse and worse for the chickens. They are 4k gold down at 13, coming up on 14 minutes.
Okay, Froggy.
Froggy. You want to talk about styling on them? Yeah, I think they might be. Because that wasn't even necessary.
I love it. Froggy
They're
is
having
playing
fun.
so well this game. Froggy is... I know his stat line doesn't look as impressive as Husmid's, but honestly, Froggy is just enabling all his carries, setting up all the plays. I loved his roam into top lane. He just went there, used Beanjay as a vessel to get his ultimate into the enemy backline. So he is playing really well on Seraphine. 0-0-3. Even in CS against DR1, you would have not expected this to happen last year. Froggy against DR1 was a matchup where DR1 was up 50 CS at 10 minutes. Legitimately, every single game.
Yeah.
He has gotten so much better, it's insane.
It's true. Now, Saigon Buffalo do opt basically into giving up this second Rift Herald. They don't particularly care about it. So SBTC will get
look at
something
bot
back. Yijin might actually exist on the map for about 30 seconds. How cool is that? As, yep, that bot lane tower has fallen. 3 towers taken down for the Buffalo. This is one of the biggest massacres I've seen in a very long time, as Olaf presses the ult,
Yay,
and
Froggy
Froggy
gets a kill.
Bear on the side. Froggy gets a kill, he's earned it. Well done, Froggy, as he sings a nice song and takes down the kill.
Yeah, this
Look
looks...
at the items between the junglers, by the way.
This honestly looks like two teams from different leagues. Like, this looks like VCS A team stomping on a VCS B team and styling while doing it with a Vayne top lane.
Yeah, this looks like G2 playing in a Worlds final. Just getting stomped.
Come on. Why do you have to do me like this? At least say you, okay? At least say you.
For context, Yulwei is a big G2 fan, and I never let him forget it.
Well, that happened. Well, SGB also happened. SGB is going to get to 8 wins. 8 serious wins, which means 2 series ahead of SBTC and Team Secret. And I believe 2-0 head-to-head against SBTC. They are...
Correct.
Are they 2-0 against Team Secret too? I believe they are.
I think so.
Yeah,
have to
which
check, but
means
I'm pretty
this
sure they are.
secures their playoff spot, because both teams can only tie their score, but both teams are worse than them in head-to-head. So this game will actually secure Saigon Buffalo's playoffs, and they have earned it. They are the most impressive, the team with the most growth for sure. And that says a lot, because we had a lot of growth for some teams. Cerberus looking much cleaner than before. Gum getting together with a new lineup and looking very strong. But this Saigon Buffalo team has blown everything out of proportion.
Yeah, this Saigon Buffalo team is just so insanely impressive. Immortal Shield Bow for Varus.
Don't ask me about Varus builds, please. I have no idea.
Maybe if Beast is in the chat, you can let me know. That seems
Just
weird.
don't play
but,
Varus, I think is my advice.
Yeah, well, judging on this game, it's definitely not going to carry. As a third Drake will be picked up. Ooh, Ocean Drake with Seraphine. That's that's delicious. Yum, yum, yum.
Yeah, this is kind of over, but it's it's a cool game to celebrate the creativeness and the coordination of SGB. Just look back. Oh no, what is going on here?
Oh dear, the Herald is summoned up, but BJ and Froggy
not
want to get
quite.
it going. The Encore misses, but yeah, that'll call the play off.
Yeah, why not? Why not try to go for the kills? They're styling a little bit, for sure. But I don't hate it. I mean, it's cool to see their mechanics and their coordination on display in an already won game, basically. I mean, they're still super squishy, so there's still always the potential for maybe DR1 scaling to 3 items, getting into the backline with the very, very, very nicely timed and nicely positioned passive there, package. But it's hard to see that happening. It's really hard to see that come to fruition in this kind of setup. Look at the Dragon timings, 4 minutes to the Ocean Soul. We are 6k gold ahead. And we have 2 very hard scaling AD carries, 2 hyper carries you could say. With Seraphine and Olaf behind them, so...
It's a bit doomed. I mean, yeah, DR1 could scale, but that doesn't stop the fact that the other team scales as well. Slay throws out a hook, but it only hits the Ragnaroking Olaf. But the tower still stands, as SGB is forced back for now.
And don't you like it when the plan comes together? When we highlight the 2
Okay, Lux.
when we highlight the 2 junglers in pre-game, and then the series is all about the jungle gap.
Oh, hello, we do have a fight coming in as there's... Sorry, I thought Yejin was part of this fight. I guess not.
Nope.
He's
No,
not
he's
here.
not.
Zeros moves forward, has that Mega Gnar. He throws the
and he's
boulder,
dead.
but he gets hooked. Taki, once again, smurfing. He's playing in silver when he should be in diamond. There he goes down to the Jinx. A lot of damage did come out of... Zeros before he died, but it doesn't
no.
matter as Husband's flying forward. Orion's
Taki!
got 2.
Oh, sad
He's
time.
about to make it 3. Bang! The Jinx shoots in that rocket. Boom! Takes them down. The tower will quickly fall. And SBTC in game 2s, right?
Well, when your Vayne top lane can flank against the composition with this much CC and get away with it, you know the game might be over. 19 minutes inhibitor. This is actually an inhibitor I condone, because Baron is going to spawn and you have a double AD carry comp with Seraphine, so you can actually burst the Baron down, so you can actually do something on the map while the mid inhibitor is down. It's going to be a nice way to catch up on experience and gold for especially DR1, but it's not going to be enough, and especially now also with the dragon spawning in 2 minutes, that's so much pressure you have to play against. So easy to secure mid priority for SGB to set up the all-important last dragon.
Yeah. And this is going to be a potential 22-minute soul. And I do want to come back to what you were saying before that last fight. Yeah, we highlight the junglers. We say, well, it's a tale of 2 junglers here. Yejin not good enough. BJ far too good. And I mean, even this fight illustrates that. So Yejin, he comes on in, and where'd he go?
And honestly, the engage was okay, but the comms weren't clear for
Was it?
SBTC. Like, the engage in itself looked decent, but the 2 carries from SBTC weren't in range to really follow up on it, and then just disconnected comms. Very nice sidestep from Husband there. Look at the flanking Vayne. So much pressure, so many abilities thrown her way, and she's still full HP after the fight. Taki, this could have been the crowning achievement, that flash hook, but in the end, it doesn't matter. He has played an insane series once again,
Wait,
setting up his jungler for success.
SBTC got Baron.
Yeah, what the... Okay, I guess we don't
Okey-doke.
need to show that. It's not important enough. Oh, fair enough.
I guess there was a steal?
Yeah, there was a steal.
What actually happened here? Yeah. Okay, yeah, Yejin. Okay.
Okay,
Good
you
fight.
can actually just kill the pink ward in the back of the pit, especially with 2 AD carries. Just let one of the 2 attack the pink ward, or maybe the thresh. Why do you not clear the pink ward? Why do you not go over and take away the blast cone? A little bit
Perhaps
of...
they're a little bit loose. at
yeah,
this
a little
point,
loose,
the
a
STB
little
camp.
bit rookie, where they kind of forget their good setups and just go for the lulz. Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this Baron is going to turn the game around, but it's definitely going to slow SGB's march to victory.
It's a nice
Could
combat buff.
potentially open up.
Maybe
could
enough
potentially
burst.
open this dragon fight up.
But look at the vision. This time they were actually disciplined, and SGB setting up all the pink wards. How do you even enter the river? Yeah, you can't. The dragon's just gone.
Dragon's gone. Ocean Soul secured. They now have Seraphine and an Ocean Drake and an Olaf. Yeah, I mean,
SGB is
good
by
luck,
far
SBTC.
our best dragon
Do
team.
we have to keep casting, or can we just, like, watch SBTC fail?
So I want to stress that SGB is by far our best dragon team. I think what we can see in this series once again, and we have seen it before, is their setup around dragon and the bot side river is very impressive, very high level. No other team in this league even comes close to their vision setup and how they prepared the dragon. They had one little blunder last game where they overstayed and let their ADC...
Froggy ultimate going in onto Yijin. Gets away though.
Yeah, nice. He used his ult. Now he is even more useless than he was before. Yeah, it's good to see.
We're into negative usefulness.
Maybe we need to see a little bit more of improvement on the top side river, because bot side river seems to be their territory. This is where they like to play. Yijin comes back in, or maybe not.
No, not quite. A hook will land on Tataki. So far, I'm not really seeing this Nautilus worth that second pick.
I mean, they got a solo kill,
Husband
okay?
goes
They got a
forward.
solo kill.
It's true. There is a stopwatch forced out of the Hecarim. The second inhibitor has fallen. DR1 completely zoned out. Can't do anything to Ariety, especially with Taki protecting him. They are moving on towards the Nexus, and that's a very nice Baron buff you have there, SBTC.
Run,
Doesn't really
Yijin,
do
run.
much when your towers are taking down. Maybe Yijin will eventually go in, try and improve his DPM. It's been about 40 this game, I reckon. As they do go in, they take down the Nexus, and SGB with a triumphant 2-0 utterly dismantle SBTC.
This team is so cool to watch, and if you had any doubts that they deserve players, yeah, they are eradicated now. This team is very good. They want to challenge for the title. They played GAM super closely. They played close games against Cerberus. Still felt 0-2. But those two teams are the only ones that even come close to SGB. And I think we are going to see them step up even more in playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. And this is SBTC with that series loss. It's becoming harder and harder to see them coming fourth. Team Secret are very happy with that result. That is going to be it for the first series. Are we going over to the analyst desk before we sign off, or what are we doing?
We are already there.
Oh, we're already there. Marby, come on in. What was your thoughts on game 2?
Well, Yijin has gone to absolutely new heights. Thanks to the help of of Saigon Buffalo, he was even less visible in this game, and that startup from the Buffaloes was actually just beautiful. They worked through their pushing lanes, they kept re-invading, and they kept that Hecarim so far out of the early game that they picked up free Rift Herald, free Dragon, and they couldn't. It was no contest because Yijin was just so far down. Yeah, he absolutely couldn't. So, just fantastic stuff across the board. It's really hard to say who would be like the player of the game. Hasmet had sort of big flashy score line, but my God, I think he was mostly just the recipient of how good that mid jungle just wound up playing those team fights, because this team is so good. They are easily top 3. They're contending with Cerberus for top 2, and with games like these, you see why they should be the second best team. And if they can just keep this sort of performance consistent, they should absolutely be our finalists.
So one thing I want to ask you, Marby, is what do you think, how good is BJ? Or how good did he play in this game? Because I have to actually go back and watch a lot of the early games where we gave BJ a lot of credit. He for sure played well, but it to me feels like most of his power comes from bot lane, where his bot lane syncs up with him. They win every single early game in the laning phase, and then just give him so much time to invade bot side. They give him full priority over bot scuttle. That he went into the bot side. They got the first blood on the bot side Gromp, I believe. So, what do you think? Is it BJ or is it Taki and Ariety enabling him?
Counter jungling has always been a team effort,
for sure.
even back to the days of Moscow 5. It's all about syncing up with your team, and I think you can put a lot of calling when we're invading onto the jungler. I don't think it's Taki saying, now we push into the jungle. It's
Makes
definitely BJ who probably knows the jungle a lot better and is saying, all right, if you guys have priority, cool, we're going in, we're hitting these wolves, we're hitting the Grump. And so he's definitely being played around, but I definitely think a lot of it does fall onto him, especially those first 15 minutes.
Fair enough. And if we don't have anything more to say, well, I think we will go to our break. It is going to be about half an hour, and then we have the current kings of the league against the current kings of VCSB, maybe?
Maybe.
G-Media Luxury versus GUM is going to be coming up next to round out this week. This is getting to the pointy end of the season, and while this next game might not count for much, it will definitely be a very fun one, so I do hope you join us. Before we go to our break, I will say that if you do enjoy our content, let us know in the chat. We really appreciate hearing it, and also consider supporting us. There'll be a command in the chat that'll make the bot tell you how. If you could click on those links, consider chucking us a few dollars. We'd really appreciate it. Also, join our Discord server, follow us on Twitter, and the like. Get all that VCS action right in your social media feed. We'll be back in about half an hour. See you then.